Hello everybody, welcome back to Robot Attack. My name is Smokinace007 and today we have Smokinace, the new speedrunner world record holder of Metal Gear Solid. I made that joke last month. I can't do that again. You've been practicing? I wish. No.
I did play a little bit more, but not to the extent. There was, however, a new world record.
Yes.
It's just the time just keeps going on. Those guys are insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. It's awesome to see.
So are you gonna give up on it or what?
I'm not going to give up on it. I don't know what my prospects of ever getting world record are. Just because some of these guys have been running for so long. There's actually just some new tech discovered actually in the middle of the tournament. They just had the championship game a couple days ago, or the championship race a few days ago, and about a week and a half before that, right before the semifinals, they discovered a new technique to shave more time off, so the time is just going to keep going down. It's so crazy.
So you just think like that, luckily they did it after you lost, so at least you're like, well, now my previous times, now we're in this middle of this tournament, and now they found this new strat. But no.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane to see what can happen when a group of people that are very knowledgeable about a game can dive even further into that game, and it's so nuts.
It's crazy too. Even I was watching Summer Games Done Quick, and that's coming up in July. And they're like, sometimes I hear some of the people like, oh yeah, we just figured out the strat. So throughout, that's what the thing about speedrunning is. But anyways, we're not talking about speedrunning today. Sorry. So you're already sidetracked, 5 minutes into this podcast, not even.
I would like to point out that it was not me
that
brought up Metal Gear Solid.
I will actually bring it up again. Don't worry. I did kind of mention it to you in stream, but I probably missed it, and I didn't know. Anyways, so yes, hello, if you're new, well, I'm sorry that you're coming into this, but once a month we talk about video game topics that we pick out of a hat. We usually argue hours and hours and ends to
days,
to even discuss what we want to talk about.
Goodness.
Definitely
not.
Like an hour before. You're right. I was gonna say. Well, you said 10, but come on. But
I'll give us a little bit of credit. That's fair.
Come on. And then we also talk about the top, some games we played last month, and maybe swing off some topics of that. So you know what? I'll start off because I'm a gentleman. Of what I played, I did the game of the wheel choosing of Don't Starve. It landed on Don't Starve, and. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a game you haven't played yet, right?
Yeah, I've never played it. Never. It's only I think the top 10 of most played games.
Somebody in the comments, ask Scouter how many hours he has into Don't Starve.
Take a guess, and then see who. What are you thinking?
Okay, let's see. I don't even have a clue. I'm gonna guess 179 hours.
That's a good guess. I assume you have my Steam profile up and you're just 179.
Actually, that would have been a much better idea. Dang,
you're
hey,
179.
Right, cut the podcast really quick. I'm definitely not gonna open up Steam.
Let's see
that would
here.
have been really smart.
Let's see. Actually, it's not. Don't Starve Together is actually higher than Don't Starve.
Wow. That surprises me.
That also surprises me, because I feel like I barely touched.
Maybe it's an odometer. You went so many hours through Don't Starve, it actually started again.
Yeah.
You got to the limit of it, and it just ticked around.
Oh, sorry. You had 100 and something?
179.
120.
Oh, you know what? I'm still happy with.
Actually, sorry, I lied. Don't Starve is above Don't Starve Together. So Don't Starve Together is 80. 120 is Don't Starve. It is my 3, 4, 5, 6 top played game. First one is Rocket League. You thought you'd? I wouldn't have guessed. Like nobody would guess that.
I knew that would have been up there, but I would not have guessed that was above Don't Starve even.
Prison Architect is number 2, and that one I could see why. And RimWorld is 3, and I'm sure it's going to be number 1 pretty quickly.
I mean, both of those are very... not that Don't Starve isn't, but both of those, from what I've watched and from what I've seen in your streams and stuff, those are very, very time-consuming games to
do
put
something
everything together and get to get a big project or get enough of this or anything like that. So that's understandable.
Exactly. But anyway, so I played a little bit of Don't Starve because the wheel told me to, and I remember why I stopped playing that game. Basically, the fact is, so it was real quick. It was raining like I would not even joking you, like 3 days in the game, and if it rains so much, it actually starts raining frogs.
I did not know that.
And
those frogs, those dang frogs.
Yeah, Smokinace knows the frogs. You think me saying frogs is less imitating, but trust me, it's Don't Starve. It's hard as nails. Those frogs are a nightmare. But imagine just a little bit of frogs, times it by 10, and it's raining frogs. Literally raining frogs, and I died. Because I tried to... That is coming nighttime, I tried to place a fire... And for some reason, like, it wasn't placing, and I died of nighttime, and I'm like, and I was like, we're done playing this game today.
I've definitely had that where I've panicked and tried to throw a fire down, but then you grab.
I didn't panic. I was ready. I was ready to go, and like for some reason I couldn't place it. I'm like, what is? I even rewind the footage. Trust me.
Check the replay.
Track the replay.
New York.
All right, and then of course Resident Evil. I played Rome Total War Remastered. That was.
Was it everything that you could hope for and want for in your life?
I mean,
you were very excited about it.
It's all the same. It's basically, you know what I'm saying. I will give it this. It did add a little bit cool features where in the battlefield you can actually toggle it where you don't see you see through the trees. And obviously you don't see the enemy. Like, I don't know if you play the game, but basically you can have it where your soldiers can like hide like that. Your soldiers will still be hidden, like, your opponent's soldiers will still be hidden. Yeah. But it's just kind of like, if you... I think it's actually, like, remove leaves or something. It was, like, kind of detailed where it's, like, you can remove some effects in the battle mode, so you could, like... Okay. I don't know, definitely, and it was on sale because, like, it was like, if you own Total War, this is on sale.
So good.
I know. Man. Well, now I don't
games like that.
I don't. Yeah. So luckily, I had Rome Total War already on Steam, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this. I played Unpacking. I think I mentioned it last stream, but
I know you mentioned it at some point. I don't
there's a free demo. I did mention it, but I did play it. But regardless, I guess I didn't talk about playing it, but I will play it. It's fun. It's a free demo, so I'm excited for, and is definitely I'm looking forward to that. And that's about it, really. I didn't play very many. Oh yeah, Sonic 2. I raised money for Pause Your Game.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
I think I was so actually excited because like we're actually doing like the last round. I was starting to do actually good. Like I had like 10 lives, and then my unfortunately my time was up. So because I only had 4 hours, and I think we had fun. Obviously, we had some cool. At least I had, and other streamers had some cool incentives, like petting the cat, show cat on stream, and saying dogs are better. Basically, lying to charity is great. Saying that dogs were better. There's a dog. No. No. Firebrand said that to me. Is like, yeah, you lied to for charity donations. I was like, you bet I did. No, it was funny. No, it was a good time, and I wasn't expecting people to donate for that. Obviously, we're trying to raise money for dogs and cats, so I can't.
But you know what? People are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
and that makes those events that much. Those kind of things are always fun to watch, and the amount of support that people show towards great causes is always so cool to see.
It is awesome. I raised $100 during that stream, and it's just like just me alone. I'm like, man, I'm actually making a difference. Like,
yeah, how many people, how many animals, how many shelters and stuff is that helping?
Right,
just
exactly.
in that 4-hour chunk. Where else can you go and in 4 hours, do something that impactful, something that really makes a difference.
For once, we're not talking about Extra Life.
But by the way,
Pause Your Game is still running for. I'm part of the Good for Gaming team. Good for Gaming is a community organization, kind of like Extra Life, but they pick every quarter they pick a charity, and right now they're still currently in, as of this recording, still in to Pause Your Game. So if you can't donate, please, still going on. We raised the goal like 3 times during that weekend event. So next is Trevor Project. That's like in like 3 weeks. So definitely another good one. They're all great. And honestly, give Good for Gaming a follow. Like honestly, besides me, basically everyone else is an amazing streamer.
Including you.
No.
Including
you. No. Anyways, they're amazing. Honestly, I'm not being biased or anything, but for sure give them a follow. They always are fundraising and great community. I'm done plugging Good for Gaming. It's your turn, sir. What did you play last month? You played a new Metal Gear Solid the other day.
It's an homage.
I was confused a little bit.
So the game is called Unmetal. And it's an homage to the Metal Gear series, the old top-down, back in the first Metal Gears, Metal Gear 2, things like that. And it's kind of a parody, but it's not completely bashing it and going, oh, this game was terrible. But it has a lot of really funny elements in it, like just some of the dialogue. It makes fun of itself. One of the really cool things that I wasn't expecting is you get to. So basically, a quick rundown is, it starts out with a voiceover, and you're talking about the main guy, Jesse Fox, and he gets shot down, and then he gets captured and arrested for a crime he didn't commit. He makes sure to let you know that it's a crime he didn't commit, and so he's sitting there and being interrogated. And what the game that you're playing is he's telling his story about being captured and just kind of everything. So it switches back and forth between this conversation of Jesse Fox, handcuffed in a dark room across the table from, this guy that's interrogating him. And he's telling the story, and as he's telling the story, you're playing out that story. So there are certain elements where you get to choose, kind of like I'm dating myself here, but anybody who knows the choose your own adventure books.
Not that old.
Scouters, they're old. What are books?
Old. No. What are bugs?
But yeah, like the very first one you come across, and he goes, I was moving into this area, and it comes up with 2 options, and it's 1 or 2. And whichever one you pick, that's how many guards are in that area. So you can, in multiple playthroughs of this game, you could have different paths and different branches to it. I don't know how exactly they're going to be, because right now there's only a demo out, a free demo on Steam. I highly recommend checking it out, because yeah, it's hilarious. It's very tongue-in-cheek. I stole an eye patch from a guard, and then I was berated for stealing the eye patch, and then later I stole his eye, and then I was berated even more for stealing the fake eye, and like just silly little things like that. And yeah, there were times where I was just laughing out loud, literally, because they just said something such a good little one-liner, and it was just delivered so well. There are some other parts in it, but I won't spoil any of that for anybody who wants to play. It's a pretty short demo so far. Like, I was talking about other things and whatnot, and I think through talking and just interacting with people, I think I played it for like 45 minutes or something like that, and you could probably beat it in a lot shorter time, because it's just kind of the first area. But yeah, you can go back. I want to go back, and I want to choose the different options than I picked the first time around, and maybe do some things different just to see kind of how they turn out. But yeah, so I played that. Like I said, really fun demo. I can't wait for the full release. I'm really interested in what this It's a little indie game. I think it's made by one guy. I haven't done enough research on it yet, but I believe it's one developer. Yes?
I'm just pointing out that, you're getting into indie games. You're welcome.
But yeah, no, it's really fun. And like I said, being a big fan of the Metal Gear series, there are other little nods in that game so far that are just fun to see, because it's like, I didn't even think about that in the Metal Gear series. That is kind of silly, or maybe, why did that happen, or why did you do that instead? But as far as other games that I've played, in sticking with my trying to beat at least one game from my backlog every month, I finally got back to The Last of Us Part 2. I had not beaten it yet. I did officially beat it. Great game. Absolutely incredible storytelling. Beautiful worlds. Great characters and stuff like that. If you like the Last of Us series, definitely check it out. I know I'm way behind on that one, but that's part of the reason I made that goal, is to finish up those games that I never finished along the way.
I was going to say, I didn't play any of them.
I know, that's because you're just...
I'm lame. I get it.
I'm
lame.
No, you're
not lame. You could say it.
You're not lame. You're just you.
You're just
you.
Hey, wow, that's another way of saying it. Sure. Without offending me.
No, it's... The first one was such a great game. It was such a great... Just... It's one of the few games where within the first, 30 minutes, they had me gripped emotionally, and I think I've talked about it on stream before. I have a hard time kind of having that suspension of disbelief and really diving into the world of a game and kind of believing the characters and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy some games and whatnot, but I can break that kind of immersion in a lot of games. But The Last of Us is one of those series where, it just hits you. It just hits you right in the gut or something like that along the way, and just things that you don't expect are going to happen, or even if you do expect they're going to happen, they might happen in a different way or something like that. But those were the two main games. Played some more Dragon Quest XI, some Battlefield 5. That was one of the free games. That was on PlayStation Plus this month. So yeah, those were kind of the main games that I played since the last podcast, and I'm ready to move on to the next game that I'm going to try to beat. So.
Sounds good. Any hints?
It's still a bit of an older game, but it's actually one of the games that kind of surprised me that was on your list of top games. If I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was up there. Okay. At least the first one.
Okay.
At least the first one was. I honestly can't remember. No.
Okay.
No.
Anyways, I will say I also forgot to say RimWorld. By the way, not trying to plug this, but I'm plugging it. If you donate $50 to my Extra Life, you get plugged into RimWorld, and I gotta be very careful with RimWorld, by the way. But it's actually really fun. Trust me. But honestly, generally, most of the people unfortunately die in RimWorld. So Fireburn pointed this out during my stream as like basically you're killing off people who donated to you. I'm like, I'm trying. I promise you.
I mean, you did murder me.
I did. I murdered everyone. Let's be real. I don't think I got very far. I think the farthest I've gone in RimWorld. It's been a while since I got pretty far in RimWorld. It's just
I've never played it.
It's just
from what I've
so
seen,
unlucky. It's just
that game looks difficult.
It is.
You know what you're doing,
right?
It still looks difficult.
It's. I think I need to prioritize. I don't want to spoil it for the donator, but basically it's fun. But they obviously died. But anyways, I won't tell you how. But anyways, it's just really fun to play that game and to just randomization every time, and that's what I love about it. And so yeah, it's. I think what I need to do is prioritize the people in the game of what their priorities are, such as like I usually select what. If they have it, so their skill ranges from 0 to whatever, let's say 10, right? On a scale like cooking, right? Okay, if they have a skill of 3 or more, basically I'll put them to that task. But research, so it prioritizes them the game prioritizes those things on what's important for the game. Like cooking is before like research, for instance. Okay. Like that makes sense because obviously you need food to live. Research, you could do anytime. So as I was saying, research is the last thing. But like I think early on in the game, you need batteries pretty quickly because you need electricity to, I feel like, do anything productive in the game. So I think I need to prioritize that for next time. Anyways, we're talking a lot. What else is new? Anyways, so main topic today. We'll get started.
Don't you point those things at me. Hey.
Sorry. Is cheating. Is cheating okay or not in games? Like, for instance, have you ever... So I was thinking about this, right? There is Zombies Ate My Neighbors coming out on...
Great game.
It's coming out on the Switch.
Yes.
I'm excited. So, for instance, that game is hard. If you ever played it. Yeah. Basically, I heard... from rumors, and I don't know if this is true, but you basically need to put in cheat codes in order to beat the game. I don't know if this is true or not, but like for instance, every time you beat a level, they gave you passwords, and once you lose all your lives, you pretty much start all over. You could use those passwords to, let's say you died on level 5, you could put in that password and continue from level 5. So, like, for instance, is that cheating? Or, stuff as, not to put another plug in, but the Spiffing Brit, if you guys know who that is, he's, Smokinace does, he kind of tells you of how to cheat in a game. Like, for instance...
he breaks so many games.
It's great.
It's awesome.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a broad kind of a topic and kind of hard to pick out specifics, but, like... So, tell me, have you ever cheated in real life? No. In a video game that you just had to, or you're like frustrated, or what's your opinions on this?
I take cheating in video games in kind of two different camps, and I think a lot of people do, and you'll probably agree with me on this. Single player versus multiplayer. You know, PvE versus PvP. Two completely different. So, in single player games, when cheat codes were actually a thing, long before the cheat codes of today, which are called DLC, and cosmetics, as we've talked about before, and loot boxes and things like that, but that's a whole different story. Yeah, absolutely. All the time, not all the time, but there were a lot of times in older single-player games, I loved using cheat codes because either it made the game a little bit more fun, it made it do something that you could never do before. One of the best examples, one of the most fun things to do, even to this day, is use cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto. You know, me and my friends would sit around all the time, you know, hang out, sit around all the time, and go, okay, we're going to get the weapon tier 3 cheat code, and we're going to get unlimited ammo, and we're going to see, all right, who can last the longest? You know, who can get 5 wanted stars and last the longest against the cops and the military and stuff like that. Going back to your Zombies Ate My Neighbors comment, the passwords for the levels, I don't see those as cheating in the game because that was the equivalent of a save file. You know, like the Super Nintendo, which Zombies Ate My Neighbors first came out on, Mega Man X, you know, some of the other ones, you got those passcodes to save your progress, so you didn't have to sit there and beat the game in one sitting every time. They didn't have the memory on the game or in the console like we do now. You know, my PS5 has a hard drive in it. It has its own hard drive that can save file after file after file. You know, the PS4, the PS3, you know, things like that. The PS2 and even the PS1 and, you know, Xbox and stuff, you had memory cards. You know, so before those were ever a thing, and I'm not even making a joke here to the people that have only played more modern games since then. You know, you didn't have that memory in the console or in the cartridge of the game itself, so you couldn't just save your game whenever you wanted. There's no such thing as a quick save on console games for regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, you know, things like that. You didn't have any way of storing that memory, so they made these passcodes that you would write down at the end. And I remember we had notebooks full of these for Tetris Attack and Mega Man X and all these games. You know, you'd get to a spot and you'd have to shut it down for whatever reason. Rock and Roll Racing, we kept passcodes all the time. That game is fantastic for multiple reasons. But, you know, I don't see those as cheat codes. Those are just old save files. Now, there are cheat codes for Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I remember we had a book. I can't remember the name of it, but they made it. It was kind of like the Guinness World Records book, where they made multiple. They made, you know, an edition every year or something like that, and it would have, you know, it was as thick as, you know, like a novel or something like that, and it would just have hundreds of games in it and all the known cheat codes for them. And so those were a lot of fun. You know, I didn't use them all the time. There were plenty of games that I played by themselves. Either I didn't know the cheat codes, or I really liked the game enough that I didn't want to use the cheat codes or anything. Now, as sort of a side caveat, there are passcodes that you could find to give you different items in the games. So, like, you could find a passcode that gave you every item and every weapon in Mega Man X, and then you were on the final stage. Or in Zombies Ate My Neighbors, there were passcodes that you could put in that were cheat codes. You know, they gave you all the weapons, they gave you unlimited ammo, they gave you things like that. So yes, there were cheat codes for those games. But before I move on to multiplayer or anything, I'll throw it back to you and get your opinion on, single player cheat codes, or if you don't think of them in those two different camps, what are your opinions on cheating within video games?
Yeah, I was gonna say like same thing with. I mean, technically, Metal Gear Solid is a cheat code where you had to. I played it where I did play it. You saw me where I did have to figure out that technically I would feel like that's cheating to an extent of writing. Go looking in the box to find the radio signal to call the other character. I can't. You probably know. Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you. So technically, I assume like probably me for sure. Like I don't know, coming from you, but maybe me. If I bought Metal Gear Solid, just out of normal buying purchases, I'd probably throw that away. Like I would probably throw the case away. Sorry to be more.
How do you keep your CDs, sir?
Right. I have a CD thing. You saw it.
No. No. That's it.
We're done.
I'm coming over there right now, and we're gonna have a talking.
All right.
Oh, that hurts me.
You know what?
Hurts.
I do have actually some of my CDs still from. Here we go. Math Munchers. Bam. See, I do have
jewel case.
See,
for anybody that doesn't know, those are called jewel cases.
I did keep some of them, but none of them are.
Just throws those away.
I think.
Wow, that gives me chills.
I think none of these have CD. I think all of them are in the CD rack. Anyways, knowing me, I would probably throw that out. So I would have had to either look it up online or buy a magazine that tells me like that. So that technically that would be cheating. But I guess to the extent of multiplayer, play to win. We kind of talked about that subject earlier, but I wouldn't mind talking about it. Kind of bring it up again with pay to win on multiplayer. I feel like. And even I was actually listening to one of the most recent Spiffy and Brit, like how to cheat in a game, and that's why I kind of thought about this subject of, this guy who's a competitor got caught cheating, running macros on a Microsoft Word in this like championship. Like go to jail. You go to jail, sir. That is like uncalled for, in my opinion. Like you should be based on skill and if you're playing. I mean, I'll be frank with you. I'll probably get steamrolled in games that you play but I'm not gonna like Counter-Strike, for instance. I know for a fact that people play on there and Paladins, free to play games that are gonna be people who are cheating. Unfortunately, it happens, and even Overwatch and stuff like that. I just don't get what the point is for that. I just feel like kind of tailors off other players from playing it, because like for me, I haven't touched Counter-Strike since we played. Stuff like that, because it's just like I'm not dealing with it. I mean. You'll point out the obvious cheaters, like even Rocket League. Like if you see a ping with above 80 or above 100 or something, that you see that you're like, okay, well then he's having headshots, barely dying. I'm not playing the server. So that I feel like is uncalled for. But when it comes to single player, I mean, I guess what's the difference between? And again, this kind of goes back to... I know we were already talking about this, but it kind of goes back to, like, mods or Steam Workshop items. Like, would you count that as cheating, too? Because, like, I feel like when I was talking about RimWorld, for instance, I have a lot of people are like, "Oh, what mods do you have? What Steam Workshop items do you have?" I have zero. I play the game how it is because I want to, and I know I shouldn't. I know there's. I mean, to be fair, I do have. I'll admit there's like Don't Starve. I have a workshop item, but I feel like that make the game music better than it already is, even though the music in there is fantastic, but I make it more fantastic. A mini map, like you could literally hit tab to view the map, so like having that feature really isn't cheating per se, because I could literally hit a button to do that. But like RimWorld, I know there's mods where, like was talking about earlier again, where I create your character in the game. To even generate a character with skills that I want, because of course, I need 3 characters, all of which need to contribute to a skill that another character doesn't have. So if you have a skill in cooking, I need someone who has a skill in crafting, because you don't. Your skill isn't as good as my skill into that. So I need now a character for crafting, stuff like that. Where there is actually a Steam Workshop item, a workshop thing that you literally can create skills, and it like auto generates like it does for like a D&D game. But I just feel like it comes to the strength of what you're comfortable with, but when it comes to like multiplayer games, yeah, it's uncalled for. Like it just, yeah, like what's in it for you? Like especially if you're not a pro player like Cloud9 people.
I completely agree with you. For multiplayer games, I don't see the appeal of, let's just use Counter-Strike. There are a couple of YouTubers that I watch that I used to watch a lot more of, but there is a mechanic within Counter-Strike called Overwatch. Ironically, not that it's different from the game, but it's called Overwatch, where I don't know exactly how it works. Like I don't know how you become kind of verified to do it, but there's some way that you can become a kind of a report reviewer. And basically what it does, if for anybody who's never seen it, is Steam will send you a segment of video from somebody who was reported by somebody else or reported by multiple people for cheating. And what you'll do is you'll watch that clip, and you'll see the clip in its entirety, and you can kind of look at different angles, and you can kind of go around and check. I've never done one myself, but it'll show you from their perspective, from the reported player's perspective, and it won't. One of the really cool things is, I don't know if it's changed at all, but at least when I was watching, it would just call them the suspect, and then it would just make up names for the other players, so that way you never had a bias. Like it would never say, like if I got reported in the game, it wouldn't say Smokinace007. So that way if you're the one reviewing it, you're not biased one way or the other and saying, oh no, he definitely didn't cheat, or oh yeah, he cheated for sure. So you're seeing just based on gameplay, period, end of story, you're seeing if that person was cheating or not. And some of the things that I've seen on there and from these people that were actually cheating, I don't see how it's fun. Like, there's one where, it's basically an aimbot, but the player, like, you'll just see him spinning really fast. Mm-hmm. So your screen will just be spinning really fast. And then they'll get a headshot and a headshot and a headshot and a headshot and a headshot, and then they'll win the round. How is that fun? I don't understand it. I don't get how me just clicking a button, just one button, okay, I toggled my cheat on, now I just have to click the left mouse button and I win.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I've never tried it. I've never even looked in how to get these hacks and these scripts and stuff like that, because it doesn't seem fun to me. Apparently, it's fun enough for some people that they risk losing their account, losing their their access to play this game to try to do it just to get a win or to get some kills or something like that. And hey, play games however you want. But where it crosses the line in a multiplayer game is, like you touched on earlier, is you're taking something away from somebody else who's also trying to play that game for fun.
Right.
If me and you are playing in a duel in Counter-Strike, and you're like, okay, yeah, we're going to test our skills, we're going to fight each other, but I turn on all these hacks and everything, I'm taking that enjoyment away from you. Because now you don't stand a chance. You can't even try to beat me because I'm invincible, or I, have a weapon that I can just click and it'll just automatically kill you. I'm versus if I'm playing a single player game, I'm the only one that it's affecting. The computer at the very base of it is just ones and zeros.
Right.
There's not at least so far, there's not a mind in the computer. The computer is not playing this game against me, having feelings and emotions, and the computer didn't put money into the game. Especially if it's cheating in a free to play game is bad enough, but if you cheat in a game that you paid $60 for, $50 for, or something, you're now taking that away from somebody else who also paid that money to play the game and have fun in it. And I just that just is only hurts a gaming community. It doesn't. There's no added benefit of it. Finding a glitch in a speed run. Finding a new little, like, if you're playing RimWorld and you find a really cool little way within the game to maybe do this, and then you show that to other people, that's adding something to the game. If you try to get me into RimWorld and you find a really efficient way to use a battery in a different way or something, but it's not changing the game and from a coding standpoint or something, but then you share that with me, you have now increased my knowledge and made it a little bit easier for me to play the game. You've increased my quality of life in that game, just like some modifications, Steam Workshop items or something, like you mentioned, adding a little mini map. Yeah, I agree. I don't see that as cheating. It's not, oh, now you have indestructible walls, so nothing can ever break in. You're not changing the core of the game. You're just making it more intuitive.
Right.
Yeah, like, okay, maybe I know there's a lot of games that have a modification for, say, like an inventory box or something. It just makes it so you can organize things a little easier. It doesn't give you more inventory space, but maybe it's not quite optimized, and now you can sort things a little bit better, so it just makes it, you don't have to sit there and scroll through 100 items or something. You can kind of compartmentalize these. I don't see that anything wrong with that, because like I said, that's just helping ease your brain from having to go, wow, where did I put that insert resource here or whatever, and so yeah, that's things like Steam Workshop and whatnot. As long as something is just cosmetic, or it's just again, a quality of life kind of thing where it just makes the game just a little bit more intuitive, or a little bit less of a headache for something, I don't see anything wrong with that. But yeah, as soon as it dips into, as soon as you're affecting other players, that's where it just, like you said, it's uncalled for, and it just doesn't help anyone.
I mean, even I was gonna say, even for me, I mean, I'm speedrunning. There's glitch lists for runners. If you don't.
Oh yeah.
If you don't want to, if you really, I mean, I Portal. I'm trying to do Portal, and just even Sonic. I love. Every time I play Sonic 2, I try to show at least some people some strategies that I've seen from other speedrunners.
Yeah.
I look at the glitches in Sonic 2 and I'm like, Man, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm sure, if I go in the game and try to figure it out, I'm sure I could, but I'm like,
Yeah.
like, it's just, first, I'm sure, a nightmare to just even figure out the correct pixel to get it right, to perform it. Like, just might as well just, like, enjoy speedrunning it and have fun. And to go to your point of cosmetics, when you said, first thing you said early on is like, I want to go back to right here. I still have it right here. This game, I bring it up every once in a while. I just have it here lying around.
Great game.
Sorry for the podcast listeners. I forgot. We're GoldenEye 007. I mean, there's literally. I mean, I played it all the time with my me and if I played at your house, which if I ever get invited. Rude if you haven't yet. Yeah. You never invited me, jerk.
Stay away. Get gone.
All right.
Get gone.
If I ever, we ever played or something, I could see let's enable paintball mode. Let's enable big head mode. That's fun because it's like, it's kind of affecting the game where you're like, if you have big head mode, it's an easier headshot. But we both have big heads, so if you where we're both interactive with that cheat, I guess, per se.
It is still an even playing field.
Right.
There's no advantage one way or the other. It's just now the whole game has been modified.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I can 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see that's fine too. I guess obviously if your friends are okay with it, I'm sure they are. And I mean, we play even hide and seek with Among Us. If you don't know that game mode, is basically what it is you run around and make sure you gotta do all your tasks before the killer kills everyone. You already know who the killer is. That's a game mode in Among Us that you could play, but I don't see generally other players I want to go back to pay to win. So Hearthstone, for instance. Again, another game I haven't touched at all for a while because people pay money for good cards to win. I do like the solo mode, the computer. Luckily it's a puzzle mechanism that you have to okay, how do I beat this? Mm-hmm. And the story is kind of. I have zero knowledge of World of Warcraft. I've never even touched it. Here's some people unfollowing us. And, I have... Okay, good. Shoo. But generally, the story is pretty, it's pretty cool. I will admit, it's pretty fun. The story mode in Hearthstone. But, yeah, I don't even play... I played with Alien Freak a while ago, but, I don't see me ever getting back to it again. It's
put it on the wheel.
Put it. I might do. No, it's. I mean, we will probably talk about this in a future podcast, but of phone games. But I think we do want to talk about that. But I just don't. It gets to the point where it's I'm not having fun anymore. Clearly these players and being so outdated with something like Hearthstone or even Don't Starve. I don't play it as much as I used to in the start. But the game and that's what's so great about Don't Starve. It updates so much that at a certain point, if you don't play it within a year or two, you'd be like, "What is going on?" But luckily there are wikis for the Don't Starve wiki is pretty straightforward. You could literally say, type in bees Don't Starve and it'll literally wiki page in a very short, very quick of bees. Yeah, they do this XYZ. So anyways, I guess that's cheating. I wouldn't say that's cheating either. That's, I guess, there's so many aspects of cheating. But I guess to the extent of, I guess when it comes down to it for me, is if you're struggling in it, like, for instance, I know... Hey, sorry about this. Resident Evil 4 change, like, they have a difficulty mode where if you're struggling, they change the game. It programs that. If you're doing good, the game changes that. Like, that's cool. Like, definitely a lot of streamers and video gamers, it's okay if you're, like, I for one told Smokinace straight up, I'm probably going to restart, Metal Gear Solid in order to play it on
100%.
easy mode so I could finish it and eventually beat it, because I'm not enjoying it on medium. Like, definitely it's 100% okay.
It is a difficult game. Like I said, getting back into it, and I'm just going to brush on this briefly because I did talk about it when we were talking about speedrunning and everything. Going back to that game and knowing modern games and stuff now, trying to get back into that game with its control scheme and everything, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And it is a difficult, especially if you don't know, if you've never played it before, because you have to learn a completely different way to play a game.
So like luckily you were there to help me with obviously certain boss levels, but I'm sure during that time you had to probably look it up even for
My friend that I borrowed the game from, he had the strategy guide, and when I borrowed it from him, he at first wouldn't let me have it, but then eventually I needed it. I don't remember exactly what I got stuck on or anything, but I know I got stuck somewhere, and I needed the strategy guide. Again, just in all honesty, bringing it up for younger people and a younger generation and stuff like that. I did have internet growing up. We had dial-up at some point and everything, and there were guides online.
Is that what? I don't even know what that is.
Just look up dial-up internet on YouTube. I'm sure you'll get the sound.
Sorry, I was there.
But yeah, they're not that they do have strategy guides now, but you almost exclusively had to get any of your hints, walkthroughs, cheat codes and stuff through magazines or strategy guides or cheat code books and stuff like that, because the information just wasn't as readily available on the internet. At the time, YouTube wasn't a thing, so you had to go to print documents, whether it was GameWinners.com, cheatcc.com, some of these other gaming websites that they would give you these walkthroughs, because somebody would sit there and would type up exactly what they had to do, and so you had to seek these out. There wasn't video of it thrown up on YouTube, and I love the fact that there almost any game now, you can go to YouTube, you can look up a walkthrough of it, and somebody out there has played it, recorded it, and put it online so you can see. So if you are stuck on a puzzle, you don't just have to put that game aside and never play it again. You can still progress through that game and learn what you need to do there and then move on. And it's a huge resource, and it's great.
I was going to say this. Let me tell you straight up. We already all cheated before. We all played The Sims. We all typed in Rosebud.
Absolutely.
To get $1,000.
Copy paste was my friend.
Right.
Enter Control V enter.
I
enter
think
Control V
there
enter.
was.
Control V enter.
I did find a way you could actually cheat higher amounts than 1,000 in the original Sims, but just
you find me one person that has played The Sims
and that cheated,
did not at least,
and then remove objects on. How satisfying was it to? Wait, I won't go there.
I know exactly what you're talking about because everybody did it. And again, find me one person that didn't.
No, I was gonna say
anybody who watches this video, I don't think you're gonna say what it is. I'm not gonna say what it is. Anybody watching this video that played The Sims, they already know. They already know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys for knowing it, and that's awesome. You are awesome.
I was gonna
Please
say,
let us know.
More
in the
appropriate.
comments.
Do not.
No. Let us know in the comments.
More appropriate way of
Boo.
putting a swimming pool in your house. That's what I did.
I honestly don't think I ever did that one.
You can't.
I took the ladder away plenty of times.
That's what I was originally going to, but yes. But no, to remove objects on, you can actually put a pool in your house.
You can do other things with that? I thought there was just the one thing.
No,
there was only one reason to use that cheat code.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but, no. But you know what I'm saying. That is...
For anybody watching on YouTube...
Don't look.
Please just comment below. I did. That's all you need to just say. I did, and we'll know exactly what you're talking about. And like I said, I appreciate you for it.
Thank you. Yes, we'll stop talking about that before we get banned. Anyways, generally, even I want to say even too. I want to say I cheated on. Again, use it, but it was fun. You could do, I think, I want to say it was Roller Coaster Tycoon. That you could do like these crazy colors that weren't on. I forgot what it was. Maybe it wasn't that, but regardless,
I never did that one. But there
maybe
were
I'm thinking something that I'm sure there was, but regardless, like. I guess come to the end of this podcast, I didn't expect this to be a very long topic. But generally, I kind of wanted to touch on it. I know a lot of people are frustrated. Like, if you're frustrated about a game, it's cool to look it up, for sure.
Absolutely.
Even my favorite game, Resident Evil 4, I didn't cheat at all. I stepped away from the game because I couldn't pass a certain boss. I stopped playing. I didn't look it up because I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I was just like, I'm going to beat it. Like, I'm confident I got this, and luckily, unfortunately, I forgot, and I asked, like, my friend said I beat it, and luckily I did ask, how did you beat him? And he told me. So, like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have enjoyed that game. But I guess there's a certain line, definitely, if you're struggling with the game, it's okay to put it on easy, like, 100%.
Absolutely.
And then me, even Don't Starve, playing Don't Starve, basically before it got released. I've been playing it that long, and still to this day, I guarantee you, I looked up a wiki on the wiki of what this item is, because, like I said, the game changes so much. You're not going to keep up with it as much of a gamer, or I'm not a gamer, of much of a person who plays Don't Starve as much as I do. I'm still going to look it up because I'm like, I love this game.
There's a reason that developers put different difficulty levels.
Right.
There's a lot of times they'll have a little description and they'll say, normal. This is the way the game was meant to be played. They might say that or something. But there's a reason they put easy. There's a reason they put very easy. One thing that I really like, and this is very on topic because it just came out again recently, but Mass Effect. If I remember correctly, in the original Mass Effect games, when you were choosing your difficulty, I think it only had, like, story-driven versus, like, gameplay-driven. I don't remember the exact titles, but anyone who knows what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments. But they basically, the story mode it still had gameplay and it still had the fights you had to do, but it was more focused on you just progressing through the story and getting it was almost like more of an interactive movie. You didn't have to struggle with boss fights, or you didn't have to struggle with other things. I think it kind of made those a little bit easier, so you didn't have to focus on them as much, and you could get to the next story element. Versus the opposite, where if you wanted a little bit more of a challenge or something, you could put it on the harder difficulty and go through. Most games, when they're developed, if they have difficulty settings, the developers didn't intend on you starting on the hardest difficulty. Now, there are plenty of gamers that can go out there and pick up, say, Metal Gear Solid, and play it on extreme first time and have fun with it and beat it and do well in it. But there are plenty of gamers that that would just completely turn them away from the game because it's no longer fun at that point, and you're not, you're dying at the same point 50 times and not making any progress, and it's just no fun there. But yeah, no, like Scouter said, there's a reason that they put lesser difficulties into games, so that way you can enjoy the game itself more versus, okay, like you said earlier about Sonic, I need to find that exact spot that I need to be in so I don't die. I need to find that exact pixel, that exact way to run in this section, and yeah, that's fun for some people, but it's not for everyone. So,
I mean, yeah, even just watching it generally is cool. Just like I said, AGDQ is coming up, and just to even see it, like, gain glitches, I've seen it numerous times. Like, I couldn't tell you how many times I watched Super Mario 64 speedruns, and watching a certain glitch a certain way is just so satisfying to see. It's like, oh my god, it's cool. Like, seeing it 100 times, it's just awesome. Yeah. And I was gonna say, like RimWorld is a perfect example for that. There's like layers of difficulties of, hey, if you've never played any survival game, here it is, and to the mode of, you will literally die. Like, don't even touch this game. Like, like, I tried that once and I was like dead, like, immediately. Like, it's crazy. It's fun. And even there's Randy Random. There's like different, I guess, how do I say this? Like God mode, where like there's random generation modes too in RimWorld. That's what makes this RimWorld so good. Is like there's Randy Rando who like will throw everything at you. Where there's, I forgot the other character that I usually picked, who kind of slowly, like, okay, you're having a bad time. I'll lay off the intensity for a little bit, and then come back with you when you're not ready, like when it seems back to normal. Like, so like there are, like, that's what makes RimWorld so good. Like for me, for difficulty mode, luckily they have that of descripting of, hey, this might not be for you. If you played RimWorld a few times, pick this mode. Lay it out in front of us. And, you could always start all over if it's too hard. And anyways, but
there's a lot of games, that they're more a linear game, and people have made randomizers for them. Like, I know there's some other extra lifers that'll do, like, Zelda Link to the Past randomizer, or a Mega Man X randomizer, or a Final Fantasy randomizer, or Super Mario 64 randomizer, and it takes that game that you already know so well, and maybe you can't change the difficulty on it, but you can do that randomizer, and now you're learning basically a whole new game, because you don't know when you're going to get this power up, you don't know when you're going to get this weapon, this item, you're going to go to this dungeon instead or something, and it's a way to get that more difficult. Like you said, RimWorld, make things just, you may already know where this always is or something, but completely change that. Put something absolutely different there. Like, I've seen some Final Fantasy randomizers where, the first enemy that a person encounters is the final boss. And it's just like, oh my goodness, I'm not nearly strong enough for this. So, it just adds that element of literally randomness into it to give you that higher difficulty.
So when all comes to all, just do it. Just do it. Just honestly, it's fine.
Cheat
in multiplayer.
In multiplayer games,
because that's unfun for everyone involved, and I'm sure even yourself. Maybe it's
absolutely
satisfying for like the maybe 5 minutes, but I don't.
The one last quick thing that I'll add in, and I promise it will be fast.
Nah.
One thing that I do like about a lot of single player games, now that there are like trophies and achievements and stuff like that, a lot of games that I've seen that do have traditional cheat codes or have game modifiers, if you enable any one of those, you can no longer get trophies. You can no longer get achievements. So in those single player, I can't start out Grand Theft Auto 5, put in all the cheat codes, and then get the platinum trophy, which I really like that, because then, somebody who got that platinum trophy, it doesn't take that accomplishment away from them. Because I didn't just go, oh, I put in a cheat code. This person put in, 150 hours to get the Skyrim platinum trophy, and I went ahead and I just put these cheats in and I put these mods in, and I got the platinum in 5 hours. It doesn't take that away from those people who have accomplished that feat, and I really like that aspect. Because if you want to blow some steam off and just go into Grand Theft Auto and get all the weapons, get a vehicle that you really want, have God mode on, just kind of wreak havoc and everything, you can, but you're not hurting. You're not, getting, it goes back to that multiplayer aspect where you're not taking something away from somebody else. If you get all the achievements for a game on Steam and it took you 200 hours to get them, and I come in and I get all those achievements in an hour, how's that going to make you feel about all the work that you put in?
I feel bad now. Well, technically, I cheated with one achievement. With one achievement, it's fine.
Was it the Stanley Parable?
Yeah.
You monster! You monster!
Actually, yeah. Sorry. To be fair, I don't think it worked. It didn't work when I think there's one of them that did work. Like play the game for what was it? Play the game. I'll have to look. But there's one. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if it's the one that you're thinking of, because I have played through the Stanley Parable thanks to Scouter's recommendations. It was a good game. I do recommend people check it out because it was fun and it was funny and it was entertaining. But I do remember seeing an article that said, as of this day, this is the first time that you can legitimately get this achievement, and I didn't even know about that until that article came out, and it made me laugh so hard when I found out that was a thing.
Well, don't play the Stanley Parable for 5 years. That's the one where that's the one where I cheated, because you obviously could program the game to go into 5 years time. Yeah. But the fun part about that was if you bought the game that day, it would have been technically the Stanley Parable Ultimate Edition with the 5 years 2 years ago. So
gotcha.
It kind of worked out. But the only one I didn't get, and I tried to cheat on it, is play the Stanley Parable for the duration of a Tuesday, whereas it's the same thing as don't play it for 5 years, is you don't play with the clock in your computer. Mm-hmm. But for some reason it didn't work for that one. That's the only achievement I didn't receive yet on Stanley Parable. But I feel like I feel like for me, for sure, I'm not going to be not playing the Stanley Parable for 5 years. That's probably at this point, maybe when
I think that's impossible.
Right. It's like maybe when the Ultimate Edition comes out, that's probably the only time. But that's the only. So that achievement is fine, and that.
But again, that's not something where it's like, okay, you put in 100 hours to kill 1 million enemies in something, and I come in and I put in a code where I can just nuke the map, and now I've killed 2 million people in 5 seconds. So that one. If we're talking a hierarchy and a scale, I'd say your offense is pretty low on the list. You know what? Here, I will enact your punishment.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're good.
All right. Good.
You have been rehabilitated.
All right. Thank you.
Carry on with your day.
It's funny. Well, I feel like since it's I feel like the Stanley Parable, for instance, doesn't take itself. It's supposed to be a funny, gimmicky, fun game, and you could have fun like that. Of heck with you, I gotta just fast forward until like obviously,
and I'm sure they considered that. Knowing just the little bit that I know about the game, I'm sure the team went, everybody is going to do this,
right? And
yeah,
or the fact that, hey, we should probably do an Ultimate Edition in 5 years' time. Let's do achievement, and that way, because like I said, it was around the time where it's like I saw comments saying, "Oh, it's perfect. I just ended like I could finally play the Stanley Parable. Like today's the day," and they announced it.
Yeah,
it was around that time, but yeah, it's really definitely don't worry about it to the extent, don't like we said, you could cheat, we're okay, you guys can't cheat, alright, we'll allow it up to the extent of not doing it in multiplayer. Basically, I know this was kind of I just thought it'd be an interesting topic. I knew kind of what Smokinace and me would say, well, mostly you, of, we have fun to the extent of, play what you're comfortable with. Of like I again, there's certain games that I don't like. Dark Souls 3. I probably have never looked up a cheat how to beat something. Either someone helped me with it, and that's like the quality of streaming online is someone will backseat game you. Yeah, but to the extent of like, I need help.
But that's also a mechanic in the game.
Right.
There is the mechanic in the game of you can summon another player in, and if you know how to use that to, like, you can play with somebody else that you know, and you're not breaking the game, you're not cheating, you're not going above the means of the game itself. They provide you with that ability to have somebody else help you, because you know what? They know their game's difficult, and they want you to enjoy it and have fun. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If there's a single-player game that you really want to beat, and there is a God mode to it, and you just don't feel like, figuring out the puzzles and stuff like that, by all means, throw it on. Enjoy the game, have fun with it.
You're telling me I could do that in Metal Gear Solid?
Hey, if you can find one,
let me know. Let you know.
If you can find one, actually, it's kind of funny that you mentioned something along that. For the Metal Gear Solid speedrunners community, they have a bounty board. So for different games, they actually have a bounty out where if you can find a specific, like a quick rundown, there's one thing where you have to backtrack a lot in that game because you've got to change the temperature of this one item. So you've got to go back to this cold area, then you've got to go back to this hot area and stuff like that. And if you can figure out how to skip all of that, I think right now the bounty's up to like over $1,400 or something. Because if you can find it, if you can figure it out, because that's the thing is they are looking for that, because they are looking for a way to bypass that and to make it, just take that element out of it. So, there are communities out there that are dedicated to finding essentially other exploits in the game to further that knowledge and that speed run time to lessen it and everything. So if you can find a god mode to that extent, because there is, and this is something completely different, there is a god mode exploit, GME, in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2. In Metal Gear Solid 1, but there's a GME 1 and a GME 2, these god mode exploits. So yes, there is something, and you're not where you're at in the game, you can't do it yet. But if you do want to know that, I will be happy to impart that knowledge on to you at a later time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's funny that you bring up, using God mode in Metal Gear Solid, because if you can find it, by all means, use it and share it.
Right. Sounds good. Well, anyways, I know this was a topic that I think generally every gamer can agree with, and
everybody's come across it at some point.
Yeah, like I said,
if you've played an online game for more than an hour, you have probably run into at least one cheater. Maybe it's not
noticeable.
Yeah, I just saw an article the other day where I think for Call of Duty Warzone or something, they've banned over 500,000 players for cheating. And it's it's just crazy that there's that many people that went, you know what, I have to get this win. I don't feel accomplished if I don't get this win.
It's really satisfying, especially like again, I haven't played Paladins in forever, but it's just so satisfying when like the games are so close, and then then we lose or we win. Like, yeah, come on, like when one of the games when we were practicing with me and Alien Freak, I was like, man, we could have won that game, and we rematched, and they said yes, and we beat them again, and we're like, oh, best 2 out of 3, and we beat them again. So I was like, see, I told, we could have, we just had bad luck,
Yeah.
Luckily that was fun, and those moments are cool. Like, hey, we're close, let's play again because hey, the other team was good, or we're better that one game, but I know we could have beat that game. Like, we could have done a little bit better, came out on top, and we did. So it's like, anyways. But yeah, totally cool. Do it. Why not? Doesn't hurt anybody, and it makes you enjoy the game, definitely. But when it comes to multiplayer, I will flat out call you a cheater live on stream. It won't stop me.
And there are some people that it's not even just about winning. There are some people that I think do cheat in multiplayer games as just a, can I do it?
Right.
Can I get away
Can
with
I
it?
go away? And you won't. Because I will say, one time, real quick.
Scouter will find you.
I will find you. No. I forgot to tell you this. I was going to say this originally, so I still have it here.
Show and tell.
Show and tell, real quick. I know we're over time, but who cares? Nobody...
while Scouter is looking for
that... No, okay,
get to a level of comfort like that.
I'm just saying. Dog is.
Just saying. Just as a little distraction from taking skill.
Your dog is definitely, just living the moment right there.
He is so comfortable. He is so awesome.
So, fun fact. I do keep some of them. This fun fact was the key. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Key to this was basically my first Steam game right here.
Wow.
Counter-Strike. This is definitely, by the way, related to the topic. My friend enabled cheats and got me banned. I was so mad at him. I was like, "You're buying me another game," because that was basically I'll be honest. I love the original Counter, and you could here's the CD code that you could type in Steam and unlock it. It's I was so upset. I was like, "You're buying me another game. You're buying me." I'm sure he could attest to it too. And because I wanted to play, and I was like, you installed that stuff, and you're cheating in the game, and you're buying me a new one. I got so mad because you were logging into my account. So it's definitely not worth it. I got so mad at him. Anyways, but by the way, you should check out Smokinace007. He's a great friend of mine. He also is an extra lifer, raises money for sick and injured kids for Cincinnati, right?
Nope. Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus. Close, but it is for Columbus. In the right state. You are in the right state.
So,
but in reality, please support, any children's hospital, any Children's Miracle Network hospital. The Scouter is another awesome extra lifer. Children's Hospital, Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, nailed it. See, first try.
So, but we always say, donate to both of ours or one of ours or the other ones or something like that. But in reality, just any support to Extra Life, to Pause Your Game, to Good for Gaming, any of these great charity organizations, they'll can use support. Even if you can't support with money, if you can just support time and just viewing or telling somebody else about it. Scouter always makes the joke that he's live on the internet playing games, raising money for kids. Tell your cat. Tell somebody about it. Go out there. If you just tell 2 people about Extra Life, they may never have heard of it, and now there's 2 more people that might go out and learn more about Extra Life, might join Extra Life, might tell their friends about it and stuff like that. So just word of mouth. Even that's some of the best support that you can give. If you can just stop by for 10 seconds on stream, just say hi.
Exactly.
That can make a streamer's day, and that can also help just push along those donations and everything. There's a ghost in your house, your door just opened.
Tesla,
watch out.
Tesla scratches
Call
at
Ghostbusters.
Tesla scratches at my door when she wants in, so it's annoying.
It's just funny to see you reach back, and then all of a sudden the door just opens, and you don't see any reason why. There's the ghost.
I was gonna say, find a charity, and support it. Honestly, this new streamer I found, she's like, I want to support all these small streamers, I'll give you a follow, and of course she got bombarded, and luckily I got in that cut of, and then she posted hey, anyone know any fundraising? And I'm like, sign me up, I'm your guy. I literally did message her. I was like, hey, just want to put this plug in, Extra Life, but honestly, generally, I'm sure I don't want to volunteer Smokinace, but I won't do it so. But I'm sure generally you could ask anyone to not only Extra Life how to join, but even if it wasn't for Time at amazing streamer as well, that I messaged her hey, can you help me with Extra Life? Sign up. I feel so dumb, but generally we're trying to help support everyone else. So definitely I did message her hey, I'm not sure if you picked a charity, but maybe, check out Extra Life, check them out, and then, let me know, or generally, if you don't like them, let me know what charity you want to do, and I could help you. It's pretty easy, but I know it's very, how do I say this? It's very worrisome just to be I want to pick the right one, but I guess there's no wrong answers, as long as you're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Agreed.
I know the impact it makes. So, regardless, check out Smokinace and check out his Extra Life and donate to his. And check him out on Twitch, Smokinace007 on Twitch and Twitter. Give him a follow. Appreciate it, because let me tell you this: he puts up with me, and you don't have to. It could be you dealing with this every month. So
nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. So at least donate $1 to Smokinace for putting up with me once a month for an hour and 15 minutes. But no,
and make sure to donate to Scouter715 for allowing me to rant and rave about Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, and Mega Man X every.
It's
every
fun.
month.
It's as Can Sandwich mentioned in the last podcast. It's good to see our passion into gaming or speedrunning. He mentioned how passionate you were about speedrunning and how excited. Unfortunately, you lost first round. At least you got in. That's a plot in itself. That's crazy.
That was the biggest hurdle for me.
Right.
Like I said earlier, I don't know if I'll ever make that push and make that dedicated push to try to get the world record in it. There are other people that are very passionate, and that's one of the only things that they do, and they are so good at it, and it's so much fun to watch. I don't think that will be me. It might be at some point. I don't want to completely rule it out, but for me to take that step just to enter that tournament, in my opinion, was kind of the biggest hurdle. So what my biggest advice to anybody out there is, if you have an opportunity like that, just do it. Just go, because it didn't cost me anything other than some time. I didn't have to put any money into it. I didn't have to put anything into it. I already owned the game and stuff like that. And, and it was I had such a blast. I had so much fun doing it that, and I wouldn't have had any of that experience if I just said, you know what? Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Make this time that next time.
Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. But yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Hey, that's Wayne Gretzky quote.
Hey!
That's a hockey quote. All right, but anyways, thank you so much. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Check us out on Spotify, Robot Attack. We have merchandise on my Steam Labs. All of it will go to Extra Life. So definitely, if you want a T-shirt or a mug, it's in the link below.
Drink those beverages. Stay hydrated. Right. You need a mug to stay hydrated.
Exactly. And then, on YouTube, Scatter007, every month we post. So yeah, check us out. But don't. I'm not just plugging me. Just unfortunately, Smokinace doesn't have a YouTube, so we're putting it on mine. All right. So that's why I'm telling always to follow Smokinace, because he doesn't get nothing out of this. You get nothing. You do this for free for some reason, and I don't understand.
Good day.
I said good day. You got nothing, sir. Anyways.
If you cheat in multiplayer games, you get nothing.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. But yes, no. So Smokinace doesn't get anything out of this. I don't pay him nothing. So, if anything,
he just lets me blow off some steam and rant for an hour every month.
So, but yes,
which is good for my mental health.
Yeah, about Metal Gear Solid Final Fantasy. This is his plug-in because he can't tell anyone else. So
absolutely not.
Thank you all. See you next month. It's going to be lots of fun, as always. And thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to us. So let us know any ideas to talk about every month. If you got ideas, because we're literally running. Please, for the life of us, please save us. No, we're running out of ideas. No. It's always good to get some feedback of what we could do better too, of what we could do less of. Maybe you could tell Smokinace, stop talking about Metal Gear Solid. I'm definitely okay with that. No, but no, for real. Any suggestions or feedback, would definitely love it. As much as Smokinace doesn't want to do that, but
and let us know. Has there been a game that you stopped playing because of cheating? Is there a game that you have played and you loved and you enjoyed, but you just ran into either too much cheating or you ran into one that just really set you off from that game and you haven't picked it up since? Let us know.
For sure. I'd love to hear it. So, thanks all again, and see you next month.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.